Hey, thank you for joining. Today in the shop, we're gonna play with a brand new product that is the ACS roof tray by Leitner Designs. Now, this is the first one of these that we have used, opened up, or even seen other than in a trade show. So I wanted to show you guys what it is like, what the special tricks are with this tray, its build quality. So we're gonna put this thing together, follow along, and we'll see what the final result is. Let's get to it. This is the first look inside the box here. Definitely well packed. So this thing is going to be showing up in pristine condition. Look at this. See this when I get these out? Those crossbars are huge. Never seen them that thick before. Okay, got these all unpacked. Haven't looked at the instructions just yet, but I mean, look at the size of this material. I beg you to find me a tray that is as skookum as this. I think you'd be able to load a tractor onto this thing. Let's look at the instructions, figure out how to start putting this thing together. There's just a little bit of hardware here, some assembly required. So while there's a fair bit of assembly of these little brackets, this is actually the party trick that the Leitner ACS roof tray brings to the table. So this is their patented design, and this is what holds the entire tray together. We'll show you that up close in a sec, but the other cool thing is that these are the front and rear crossbars. This is the sides. Basically, this tray is completely got its strength in its frame. No crossbars are even required to give it its strength. And again, I mentioned this earlier, this is so thick and skookum. So we'll show you how this thing goes together, and not only how quickly this goes together once you've got these together, but how modular it makes it once you want to add or move crossbars later. A quick piece about these brackets is they are directional. Basically, you have a little flat edge there that's going to sit on the crossbar, and you have these teeth which is going to help grab the parts that are putting it together. So we just slide this into the T-nuts, and the trick is, I'll show you this here again, this part sits on the crossbar. This is what's going to clamp our side rails on here. So you want those teeth to your outside leading edge. All right, so as you are putting the front and rear pieces with the side, basically they just slide together, pretty simple. There is a line on this front bar. You want to line it right up to that, and you want to make sure that this is right up against the outside rail so there's no slop. You can take a carpenter's square, make sure that you have things squared up before you tighten it down. But before we do that, well, I think I will snug this down and then I'll put the other side on. And basically all that's going to take is sliding this guy over, lining those teeth up with the grooves that are on that outside edge, tightening this down on the top and the bottom, and then that is the security of this rack. That's what puts it together. It is super simple. I love this design. So you'll need a T40 Torx bit, and whatever you do, do not use power tools. That's how you wreck things. Okay, make sure this is not in correctly. You want to make sure you don't have 2 or 3 teeth, but all 4. So all 4 of those teeth are lined up. Everything is butted up nice and tight and close, and then tighten it up. As I said, do not use power tools. Make sure those are set to 16 foot-pounds of torque to ensure that this rack does not get wrecked or come apart on you. So torque wrench is a good idea. We have the surround together and secure. Now we have our crossbars, and basically we've already put the little clamps in. So all we do is slide these things in like so, and then we put them anywhere we want. So whether you want to space them evenly or you want to put them all right together, on them up, Or maybe you want to put a few on the back end, and let's say this is the front, this is over your cab, you want to leave your sunroof open, you can do that too. So I'm going to measure these equally across, and we'll get them all buttoned down. As we get these mounted down, one thing to note is that you can buy extra crossbars. So if you need them for any mounting, or if you want to buy enough that you want to fill this in so it's a complete platform, that is doable. I have put a lot of racks together. This is legitimately the easiest one I've ever put together. I know I said it before, this is a great design. So we put our crossbars in, our surrounds together. For those of you that are ever doing a 6'4" bed tray, we did the measurements for you. Well, Sean did. It's 9 inches of spacing between the front bar and each of them to make them nice and equal. At least it looks that way. So let's get it on the truck. Okay, so the tray that we are putting on is designed for the ACS bed rack as explained. There are 2 other versions. There is the low bed, which means you don't need the ACS bed rack. Sits nice and low, can be with a tonneau or without. There's also an ACS roof for the cab of vehicles, the Tacoma, the 4Runner, F250, 350, and I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, the new Grenadier? We'll see. That new Land Rover SUV thing. And if anyone's got one of those, good deal for you. I want to put one of these trays and I want to see that truck. So please message us below. So what we have to do here is the crossbars that are on the ACS tray, we need to remove those. The tray, I think, mounts to the existing mount points. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to add a riser in here. I want to get just a little bit more height under it. I have a 3rd crossbar. I'm going to take that off. The reason I have that 3rd crossbar was mostly so that I could mount a table underneath this rack, and I needed that for a mount point, but I'm going to be able to do that with this tray. That should be all we need to do. So we'll take these off, get this thing on, and see how easy it is. I picked the wrong size. Okay, so we have the crossbars off. These are the mounts that sit on top here, and it's what's going to be mounting the tray to the existing ACS racks. I've still got them up top over here. I'm taking these off because, as mentioned before, I'm going to put a riser on here just to give myself an extra couple of inches so I have a bit more height underneath, plus for when I want to carry long items. Currently this rack is right at cab height, which means I hit the cab when I put something like a long ladder or wood up there, so I want that extra bit of height. So we're going to add those risers, but if you're not adding risers, you don't need to take these off. That tray should just mount right to the rack as it comes. Okay, so I'm thinking, now the problem that we have is because I have this box on here, this side rail is set. But I think, you see your kind of channel there? Can you line it up? And there you go. Okay, so we have the tray mounted to the ACS tonneau bed rack. As I mentioned, I've got the risers on here. So if we got a little extra height in here than you may have. If you didn't, it's going to sit a bit more flush. The last thing we need to do is put the corners on. The reason those don't go on is so you need to slide the tray onto the mount brackets. They go on last. But also I want to show you something like this wiring connector. I think they call this a Deutsch connector. One of the nice things about this tray, we're not doing wiring today. That's for another day. But you can just feed these through, no problem. So you can hide all of your wiring for backup lights or anything you want to do inside the track on this tray. It's another party trick that Leitner brings to the table. So we'll get those corners on. This thing's buttoned up and we'll get using it in the real world. Thanks for watching.